Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and of course Pulsechain YouTube, streaming to over 10,000 subscribers, and a big welcome to you all. Hope you guys are having a good time out there, enjoying the crypto run. Bit of a pullback today, but good time for DCA, as we say, and we're going to get into some of the latest stuff around inflation. Stock market did well today, and of course crypto, a little bit of a pullback there, and Pulsechain getting ready to unleash most of its big second wave of projects over the next month or two. So very exciting for Pulsechain, regardless of what's happening out there elsewhere. Let's see who's in the chat there. We got Lies Beneath. How are you today? Very, very good. Bit of a rainy day outside, but still managed to get my walk in early in the morning, which is kind of cool. Early for me, anyway. Early for me. We got Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX incentive for the 100%. That is the Richard Hart Golden Cryptos, and it's looking pretty good. We got Humberto Gonzalez in the house there. Cheers, Superman and RH family from Bongada, Colombia. Good to see you, Humberto, as always. Welcome to the chat. Craig Pitt as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig. Who else has jumped in here? We've got Shano. Hey, Shano. Good to see you on as well. Welcome to the chat. Fergal and house there. Greetings from Ireland. Hey, good to see you, Fergal. Welcome to the chat too. A big shout out to you all the way up there in Ireland. We're on the top. You're on the top of the world. I'm on the bottom of the world. It's pretty much it. So that's pretty funny. Pumpkin Owl as well. Wow, nice buy and entry points. Looking good for DCA strategy, says Pumpkin Owl. Absolutely. Very cool indeed. Yes, and I hope everyone is having a good day as well. Tin Top in the house as well. What's up? Hexkins, good to see you, Tin Top. And welcome to the chat also. Should we get straight into it? I think so. Let's go. Bam. Let's get into it. There we go. And stock market. Let's do it. All right. So we've got the stock market at the moment. It Dow racks up gains as cooling inflation sinks treasury yields. So this is good news for us, folks. Really is good news. And let's have a look at the results. We've got the Dow Jones is up 1.4%, 490 points. Can you believe it? 490 points to 34,827. We've got the S&P 500 up 1.9%. Up to 84 points to 4,495, so almost 4,500. Now remember, FundStrat's Tom Lee has talked about heading up towards 4,800 before the end of the year, and that seems to be back on track pretty nicely today, almost 4,500, so only 300 points to go for that, really. NASDAQ, with all the tech companies in, is up 2.37%, so a strong day for the tech companies, up 326 points to 14,940, 14,094. That's back over 14,000. Pretty key there. The US dollar is down quite dramatically there, down 1.5%. That's a big move on the index. And that is down to 103.93 on the dollar versus its trading partners. So a big move down for the dollar there. Let's jump over to the oil prices. We're going to have to wait, just give it a second, see if it does some late stuff. Sometimes it often changes late after I've commented on it. So we got West Texas there at $78 and Brent oil at $82. Looking down slightly for both of those. Gold there is at $1,966, pretty much flat. Silver is $23.12 as well. That's pretty much flat as well. And remember, we're waiting for silver to move potentially. Some people have talked about doing a 5x in the future, but really that depends on the interest rates pivoting in the US dollar, right? So that play is still in the future. We'll see how we go. Now, the highlights here, of course, is the inflation data. US October consumer inflation cools more than expected, so that's good news. Pushing treasury yields lower, that's also good news and to some degree. The consumer price index in October slowed to a reading of 0% from 0.4% the prior month, and that was above economists' expectations for a reading of 0.1%. So anything that beats the expectations is good news. The slower than expected reading added to expectations that the Federal Reserve isn't likely to raise interest rates again. October CPI was soft on the services side, and a November print like this would not meet the bar we previously set for additional hike in December. That's from Morgan Stanley. We think soft inflation and still tight financial conditions will keep the Fed on hold. Traders now expect the Fed to keep rates held, and of course deliver a first rate cut in May. And that is according to the Fed rate monitor tool, which we're going to look at in a second. Treasury yields fell sharply on the report, with the yield on 2-year treasuries falling 21 basis points to 4.832%, while the yield on the 10-year treasury dropped 18 basis points to 4.455%. These gains followed the release of data showing headline inflation in the US slowed by more than expected in October, in a boost of Federal Reserve officials keen on corralling, I guess, price pressures in the world's largest economy. So that was kind of the update there. There was a little update there about oil prices, but we're going to jump away from that. And that is pretty much the highlights there for the stock market. So let's have a look at the interest rates on the Fed rate monitor. And of course, good news around the inflation. So we've got 4 weeks and 18 hours to go. So 4 weeks pretty much to go until the 13th of December. So we've still got quite a bit of time before we get that news. And of course, it's looking like a non-event, isn't it? No rate change. So we'll see how we go with that. And the outlook's probably not going to be so. They'll just say probably just keeping their data-driven approach. So not too bad there. Look at the Fed that's got 100% on a no change now. 100%. Isn't that crazy? I think we're at 90% yesterday, so we're at 100% today. So no change there. That's the market. I think is that the first time we've seen that? I think so. And January 31st is also a no change with January 31st. Wow. What about March? Let's look at March there. March there is actually for a decrease in March. Wow, 32%. So the majority's a no change, but we got a 32% in for a decrease in March. That's an early pivot. Let's have a look at May here. May here as well. 60% is the majority position for a pivot in May. Wow. Okay, so we were talking about June, right? You guys know we're talking about June. Here is June at the moment. June is really mixed all over the place there. Wow. We will see. Even some 10% of the market thinking 4.5 to 4.7. That'd be a nice reprieve, right, for the economy. So let's see how we go on there. Wow, that's a real turn of events, isn't it? So there we go, folks. Good news, I think, generally, which leads us into the crypto market, which had a pullback. So good news for the economy, pullback for crypto. Ethereum there at $1,988. That's pretty much it at the moment. $1,988, down 4% on Ethereum. Bitcoin there at 35,700, down 2.62%. So really kind of a strong pullback today. But some of the ones that are doing okay, BNB is pretty much up a third of percent, $243. XRP is down almost 6% at 63 cents. And Solana there is actually still doing well. And a lot of people are still backing Solana for some reason. Obviously, there's some big money looking to go into that, including one of the ETF funders. 57.3%. Now, this is currently the price there, or 57.3. What am I saying? $57.30 is what I'm trying to say. That is up 8.55% there at the moment. Some people are calling for that to go over $200 again. So it's kind of some of the hype around Solana there, and people still having a good opinion of that, apparently. So there we are. That is the market. So a bit of a mixed results, but really a big move down there for the two majors, and Bitcoin dominance at 50.18% at the moment on Bitcoin. So that leads us into the actual Bitcoin chart. Our window of opportunity continues on here, but what a day on Bitcoin, a big move down. We actually got all the way down to 34,758 on today's candle. Look at that, but we're back up almost to back 50%, which is 35,600. So we're back up to there at the moment. So what a range of the day. We had the high of 36,756, a low of 34,758. So that is a $2,000 candle there sitting there today. Wow. And we're pretty much about halfway there, just below halfway on that at the moment. So 35,600 there. Halfway would be 36,700 on that mark. So there we go. But still looking very good. Still looking very good on this chart. And of course, we've still got our BTC ETF window, and that is counting down to Friday the 17th. So that's still ahead of us, folks. If we got a surprise by the SEC that they're going to approve any of the 12 Bitcoin ETFs, that'd be bullish news. We may have a bit of a sell the rumor event, but I think it's going to be short-lived. I think it will be short-lived. And here's the kicker, right? They get approved, and then about a month later, so we're talking about in the middle of December, they actually launch. So just pre-Christmas. And of course, we'll probably have even if we have a little bit of a sell the news event, it will probably be short-lived because we'll probably get a lot of buying by these big funds, sort of front-running the purchase, continuing on the buying already that's probably in the market already from these guys, and buying in to sell to their Bitcoin ETFs, right? So to sell them back to their customers, that's what they do. And so they'll accumulate with their own money and push the market up here as well. So that's probably what we will see. I think for me, that's the base case. I don't see a big sell event off. If it was, that would also be the case. But I kind of feel like it's going to be relatively shallow. And so let's see how we go. In any case, hold 30K is probably what I'm saying there. So we'll see. Obviously, I don't know the future, but we're playing assessments here. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, if it doesn't get approved on the 17th of Friday, then obviously we've got the second window, which is the later one. And of course, the markets assessors, analysts have talked about 9% chance to have it at least by January's decision date, which is the 10th of January. So we'll have to wait all that time until the next time. And then, of course, that would be a month from there after that, before you had the actual launching and all, of course, the customers bringing their money through the biggest TradeFi funds in the world. So like BlackRock, for example. So that is kind of the play there on the Bitcoin. Now the budget stopgap measure, it looks like we might have a CR. So that CR meaning continuing resolution. That looks like to be the favored position now from Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House in the United States. So that is getting a bit of a mixed response, obviously, across the board. But that's probably the most pragmatic way at the moment. That's going to push in through, I believe, the 17th of January, although I don't know whether that date's changed or not, but that definitely looking at a continuing resolution there. And that's just a short-term stopgap measure because obviously Mike Johnson's only been in the speaker's role for about 3 weeks. So that is the place at the moment. So, yeah, well, let's see how we get on. And the Fed, of course, non-event. In fact, good news. And potentially pivot in May or June. Wow, really? So June was kind of the mark I've been talking about. But, we saw that stuff there. Even May, they're talking about, a good third of the market's expecting a pivot in May. So we'll see how that eventuates with the inflation story. All right, window of opportunity continues, and it's still looking pretty good. Even with today's pullback, still looks pretty good at the moment. And let's get into some news around Bitcoin. Let's go. And, of course, we've got the first article here. Kathy, not Gary. Kathy, I just renamed Kathy Gary. Kathy Wood there speculates Gary Gensler's political ambitions affecting spot BTC ETF judgment. No kidding. I don't think anyone in crypto doesn't think that. The ARK investor, founder, and CEO remains bullish and said the crypto market opportunity could scale to 25 trillion by 2030. OMG. What's that, 25x by 2030? I mean, that's only, 7 years? Wow. So you guys, like I say, you're still in crypto relatively early, and this is the most pivotal time right now with this Bitcoin ETFs, right? This is opening the floodgates to the big capital markets for crypto. And yeah, it could be super, super duper good. So well done on being here at the moment. And man, you go to the average person on the street, they're clueless, right? You go to the average person in CeFi, they're still clueless about crypto. People in DeFi are easily the most knowledgeable people in crypto. And you guys are mostly in DeFi, so well done to you. You can go to you can all join Mensa now and get yourself pat on the back. Might Gary Gensler's political ambitions be standing in the way of spot Bitcoin approval, given how knowledgeable U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler is about Bitcoin? It's hard to come up with a logical reason for his standing in the way of the spot ETF, said ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood in a CNBC appearance. This is a decentralized, transparent network. You can follow all the activity. It's highly unlikely to be manipulated, she said. And Gary Gensler knows this, she said, having taught a course in crypto and blockchain at the MIT prior to being the SEC chair. Riffing there then on what the explanation might be for the SEC's continued rejections of spot ETF applications, would refer to speculation surrounding Gensler's desire to be the Treasury Secretary. What does the Treasury Secretary do? It's very focused on the dollar, she said. So that was a couple comments there. Regardless, Wood continues to be a major bull on crypto, predicting the spot ETF would eventually be approved, and that this would be among the catalysts for taking the crypto currency market cap from current 1 trillion to 25 trillion opportunity by 2030. So wow. Now this is probably the biggest, this is the longest prediction, but of course the biggest one there around the market cap. So pretty awesome. ARK Invest application is to list a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US is one of a dozen that SEC is currently reviewing. Other companies that have applied, of course, include BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, and Wisdom Tree. So let's see how we go. Now, interestingly enough, BlackRock's ETF applications have all been approved except for one, and eventually that was approved as well. So yeah, it would look pretty weird if they rejected BlackRock's one, or they accepted BlackRock's ETF and rejected a lot of the others. So I think we could get a flood of these 12 getting approved, and maybe, like I say, maybe we'll get it approved by this Friday, or maybe it will be in January. What was it, January the 10th there? So building up still, regardless of the pullback in Bitcoin today. So that's the first article. The second article, of course, talking about the pullback today. Bitcoin's dropped 4% to 35K despite soaring TradeFi markets, but analysts remain optimistic. An unexpected slowdown in inflation sent stock and bond markets sharply higher, as we just looked at in our crypto coverage, stock market coverage. Crypto was left out, possibly due to declining enthusiasm about the imminent approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. I think that's very short term. Crypto markets suffered one of their worst drubbings in weeks on Tuesday, despite welcome inflation data. Bitcoin briefly dove to as low as 35,000 during afternoon hours from nearly 36,000 this morning after the consumer price index for October came in flat versus expectations of a slight rise at press time. Bitcoin was recently changing hands at 35K. And of course, we just looked at that. There's no change in that price. ETH tumbled more than 6% over the same time frame, losing 2,000 level it previously regained last week for the first time, which is a very important level, obvious course, to hold since July on BlackRock's spot ETH exchange traded fund filing. And we talked about that the other day. That's also in play, not just the Bitcoin, right? Large cap altcoins such as Dogecoin, Polygon, Tron, and native tokens endured a 6 to 7% decline as well. But we did see some really ones doing pretty well. Is the Bitcoin price rally over? Traditional markets, meanwhile, we're all in on the idea the Federal Reserve is now finished with rate hikes and indeed could be cutting rates in the first half of 2024. And we saw that, right? So May, June, even a May cut. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Late in the session, Tuesday, the NASDAQ was higher by 2.3% and the S&P up 1.8%. The action in the bond market was even more dramatic with the 10 years, of course, plunging. We talked about that. Despite the rough session today for crypto, slower inflation and lower bond yields may support prices. Investment management and Fed and Grayscale said in a Tuesday report. We believe the recovery in crypto valuations can continue if real interest rates peak and we continue to see progress towards spot ETF approvals in the US. So just a small dip in today's markets. Now, remember, we've got a lot of the same players coming in from TradeFi into crypto with their big professional management desks and all their Ivy League school analysts in there and traders. So we're going to get a lot of this. The more capital that comes in from TradeFi into crypto, we're going to see more of the same behavior we see on the stock market, right? So especially once crypto becomes a more mature market, let's say by 2030 as that prediction. So just keep that. So there's pros and cons to what happens there. ETF speculation is front and center now, but the store of value narrative still holds and will give the asset a resilient and increasing floor. And of course, we saw BlackRock CEO talk about a flight to quality, which I've played many times. I very much doubt that the recent sell-off means that the rally is done for now. More likely to do with the decline is more likely to do with sellers locking in profits ahead of what could be another SEC spot ETF delay. And that's talking about this Friday, right, the 17th. The SEC deadline to approve, deny, or delay Hashdex and Franklin Templeton spot Bitcoin ETFs are due this Friday. And while there has been a surge of enthusiasm regarding what could soon be approvals, most expect more delays this week. So if we get delays from this time, like I say, the next window is January the 10th. So just remember that. So here is a list of those on this one here. So we'll just open this up. These are all the Bitcoin ETFs that are currently in play that have to get data in and stuff like that. So they got the first deadline, second deadline, stuff like that. So pretty interesting looking move there at the moment on that. So yeah, in this scenario, momentum might slow in the crypto markets as there is more likely to be multiple weeks to wait for significant news relating to ETFs. And that's also true, right? So if we do get deferred from this Friday into January, then yeah, we could have a bit more of a pullback or a bit more up and downs in that chart until we get back into January there. So that's always possible. But I think that the market might have a few dips and then start to hype it up again as well, moving into Christmas and into the new year for January if we do get that second window, which probably is, we've got a 90% chance of approval by then. Some people have it at 98%, 99% of Bitcoin ETF approval by January. So we'll see how we get on. So some nice little views there from some of the market analysts, including James Steffard there. All right, let us jump away from that. We're going to get into Pulsechain, of course. But before we do, let's get back into the chat and say hello. I don't want to get too far ahead, as always. Bam, there we go. I hope you like the new background. That's this background for today. I changed the background yesterday and today for some fun. Who else has jumped in here? We got Archie in the house. Hi, all. Good to see Archie. Pumpkin House says Hex Token would make a good Texas dude. Yeah, I probably would, actually. Probably would. Yeehaw, as we say. Good evening, Superman. What's up, Hex Token family? Good to see you. Check my pulse. Joe Torres in the house. Long-term vision is the key, going to set more stakes out till 2030. Now, we're going to be talking about Hex and the T-share stakes today. That's our last topic of the day. We're going to talk about the share rate because that's going to jump on the 22nd of November. So we'll have a quick talk about that. Hello, familiar. Kristen is here. What's cracking, lacking? Hey, good to see you, Kristen. Welcome to the chat. We got Brendan as well, a TA guru. Good to see you. Morning, folks. Kristen says, I want one more triple XL dip on RH coins so I can do my final scoops. Lol. Yes, you're not alone. Well, it's definitely cheaper today than it was yesterday. So good opportunity there, Kristen. All right, let's get into it. Where are we going here? Bam. Let's go back to that view. And there we go. So day 186 is what we're covering today on Pulsechain. And we've got the price at quadruple 066 on Pulse, down 1.7%. So yeah, Bitcoin, that might be down a couple of percentage points, but Pulse still holding up, not too bad. 66% of the mean sacrifice price. Pulse X at the moment, quadruple 021, down 2.44%. And we've got the buy and burn, which is pretty important, at 554.1 billion. Pulse X is being bought up and burned. We're now at 2.69% of the public supply is bought up and burned. And one Pulse at the moment will get you 3.13 Pulse X at the moment. So Pulse X is relatively stronger, right? Got up to about 4. So Pulse X over the last couple of weeks has regained some ground there. Incentive token there is down 5.7%, 92 cents there at the moment. And the ratio is down below 14,000. Woohoo! 13,971 Pulse per one incentive token at the moment. We're heading towards 17 million in supply. And we've had 114,000 burned through the TRH GameFi protocol. Now PHEX there is at 1.28 cents. EHEX is at 0.071 cents. Now overnight we did see some pump on the EHEX. We're going to talk about that too. The combined price of EHEX and PHEX is 1.99 cents. So it just slipped a little tad below that 2 cent mark, but it's not too far from it at the moment, and that's down 3.3% for PHEX there. One PHEX will get 194 Pulse at the moment, and I think how high did that get? Was that up at 240, 260? I think at the strongest when PX was, something like that. And then we've got one Pulse will get you, one PX will get you 1.79 EX at the moment. So there we go. I think the highest for that's been, 2.5 on that, something like that. All right, so let's jump over to the charts. This is the daily chart there. Quadruple 066 on the old Pulse. And we've had a bit of a range today, but that's pretty much it. We've bounced off the Bollinger Band 50% at the moment. Looking at the RSI on the daily. And got the auto log on for scaling. That's the scaling there. RSI has cooled off nicely. I think this is really important for Pulsechain to have cooled off on the RSI if we're going to have another rally up there. You guys know I was a bit concerned about the RSI. I've been covering it every day just because we're overheated. The only way we're going to really stay elevated in the RSI was if Bitcoin made another move to that sort of 38.5 to 40 plus move, really probably 38.5, something like that. But there we are at the moment, 55. So this is kind of good news for Pulsechain because we've got higher lows still. We've got higher highs here, and we're in the top of the Bollinger Band still. So fingers crossed, and if we get a bit more volume, away we can go on this one on Pulse. Let's go to the Pulse X. I've got on the hourly there, but let's go to the daily on Pulse X. Pretty similar story in here too. Higher lows, higher highs, top of the Bollinger Band, but even looking slightly stronger versus the 50% mark on the Bollinger Band, that orange line. That's kind of cool. Let's look at the RSI. RSI is still relatively hotter than Pulse, but not too bad. Down to 59 now, so that's kind of cool. I remember 70 or plus is kind of overbought. 50% is the midline there, and 30 or lower is kind of oversold, right? So we've still got this uptrend though. You can see that sort of an uptrend in there on the RSI. So yeah, not too bad there at the moment. We'll see how we get on. But that cooling off the RSI, good for another move higher. That's all we're going to say there. Now, actually, we're going to go back to Pulse quickly because we've got the meeting on, right? What day is it? It's Wednesday. So we should have had that meeting for Richard Hart's meeting. So let's go put the overlays on there. And let me move that back up here. Shame you can't do multiple overlays, but Richard Hart's meeting there, 14th. Apparently that was supposed to when councils were going to do information discovery, which included electronic and, of course, any testimonials. So that was expected the 14th, which I guess has probably happened, if it happened. Presumably, I don't know. We don't know. I haven't seen anything about whether Richard responded to accepting the legal case against him, whatever it was called. But that is where we are at the moment. on that one. That was due today. So we'll see how that goes. We know that Richard's been tweeting a lot, so which is positive. The actual meeting was for the initial conference with the magistrate judge is the 28th, but 10 days before 28th, they had to do this information discovery. So let me know in the chat there if you've heard anything about that. But that is kind of the timeline there. So that meeting should have happened theoretically. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so that is Pulse. We'll come back to that roadmap a bit later. We've covered Pulsex. Incentive token at the moment is at 92 cents. We're going to look at the ratio, all-time lows. All-time lows on the ratio. There we go. Look at that. Wow, that is the Pulsex ratio there. Just under 14,000 at the moment. There we go on the old ratio. And, of course, those are being minted out from the Pulsex farms. Moving to PHEX. Let's have a look at that. PHEX at the moment at 1.278 cents there. Let's add the overlays there. Actually, I thought I had a Bollinger Band on this, but I don't. But we'll go to the RSI. The RSI there is cooled off at 47. So good news if PHEX is going to rally at some stage because the RSI is cooled off quite nicely. And yeah, let's see how we go on that one. EHEX, of course, this is on the 50-minute. What have I got 50-minute chart on? I don't know why. But let's get rid of this as well. That is it. So this was the drama we had. Look, a big whale came in and bought up. And then the market sold it all the way down just about. Not all the way down, but certainly pushed it right up there. Look at that. So we've got the hourly on the EHEX there. Yeah, look at that drama. Got pushed it all the way up to 0092. Now it's back down at 72 there. So just over 7/10 of a penny, but got over 9/10 of a penny with this big volume candle in here. So anyway, that was pretty interesting. That is pretty much it for the PHEX EHEX. I haven't got the combined price chart up today, but you can find that on InvestX.io. We might just pull it up while we're here, just so you can see it if you want to have a look. Let's have a look here. We're going to jump over to this one. You see the trending lines here. It's got Teddy Bear, PTG, see, Up Token, Scissors. These are all on Pulsechain. Legal. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Great dashboard here on InvestX.io. If you haven't used it, the best working station on Pulsechain. Really, really cool. All right. That is the 15-minute chart. Let's go to the hourly and have a look. This is the combined price of PHEX, EHEX. So you can sort of see where we're being near, just near the bottom at the moment. Just trying to hold on to 2 cents at the moment. That's where we are on the old InvestX.io. All right, let's jump over to some of the other stats here. So that is day 186. We're about to start day 187 on Pulsechain. The validators, of course, let's have a look at that. 50,811, pretty much staying what we were at yesterday on the old validators. And we've got 1.63 trillion of the Pulse off the market. It's almost 11% is off the market, can't be sold. And, of course, we're waiting for liquid loans to come out and collateralize Pulse. That could get a ton more off the market as well as push the market prices up as well. That's why I've got the title here, Pulsechain Unleashed is soon, because these big protocols could very well do that, right? They are about as good as it gets, just about to do that, other than knowledgeable demand side movements from large whales institutions. So, but from a supply side point of view, it's about as good as it gets. So I'm excited about that. Let's go to the gas prices. Let's see how we're performing today. 500,000 beats, so on the lowest side. 1 cent for a Pulsex swap at the moment, 7/100 of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, and 2/10 of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. Now, we're only in the early days of kind of a bull market, right? And you can already see that we're 2,000 times cheaper than Ethereum at the moment, 4,300 times cheaper than Bitcoin almost as well. And it's $21, folks, for a swap at the moment on Ethereum, $21. And you get to do it on Pulsex for 1 cent. 1 cent on Pulsex, $21.37 at the moment on Ethereum. So which one sounds good to you? I think it does. And which one has the big X's upside? Definitely Pulsechain. So there we go. Look, at the moment, the market, some of the big players have been pricing up Solana at the moment, not pricing up Ethereum. So go for gold on that one. And of course, Pulsechain is really the best of the best. So the market will decide. We've got DeFi will rule. All right, so that is pretty much it on the old Pulsechain. Let's go to some of the other categories as well. We're going to look at the top PRC20s. Have a look by liquidity there. So we can see that a DAI there, DAI Trapper is at 4,000 there. So 0004. We got Wrap Bitcoin at $92, up 3%. So there's all kind of small movements on these. Trapper up 3.5%. Treasury Bill and Teddy Bear are both up dramatically, 21% and 34%. Let's have a quick look at these two. They're certainly kicking some green candles today. There we are, little green candles, but still up quite a bit there, 21%. They're way down from the high. Look at that. That's where Treasury used to be up there. That's kind of funny. But let's have a look at the other one, a teddy bear. Teddy bear there up as well. Look at that. It's also up off the bottom, but a 34% gain today on the old teddy bear. So nice little days for those. What else is there out there? Nothing else really performing amongst my top PLC 20s. There's probably a few I need to update and then go through and review to make sure I've got everything on there. But that is kind of the play at the moment. Looking at the medium meme size coins. Let's have a look by liquidity. Everything is pretty much down. Hex Orange Address is up 13.8%. I know they're doing a lot of stuff on social media at the moment and probably creating more meme coins, but that's kind of where they are at this stage. Pepperlorian is up 43% as well, but the liquidity is very small, $1,700. That's pretty much it. Let's jump over to Pulsechain projects. I think what we might do is go straight to 9-inch because it's got a lot of meme coins in it too. So we'll just jump straight to 9-inch there. Let's see how we're doing here on 9-inch Pulse as well. So let's have a look here. Oh boy, still not really with the market's kind of down. This is down, right? This is down. So quadruple 01631 is the price there, just above the sacrifice price by my accounts, which I have quadruple 01567. So there it is at the moment. Maybe a good accumulation zone there. We'll see. Maybe it's going to go below the sacrifice price. Definitely the climate could happen for that next couple of days. We'll see how it goes. So cautious on this one, but definitely if you can get the bottom, it might be quite a good play, especially if you're going into the farms for some of those nice yields as well. So obviously if you went in the farm up here, you lose money, but if you buy down when the market's sort of, you can get the bottom, you can make quite a good money on the income and on the capital appreciation should the price recover. So that's the kind of play there. Let's have a look at what else we got going there. Everything else is pretty much down. 9-inch on Ethereum is up 1.4%. So let's have a quick look. This is a counterparty, of course, on the old Ethereum side. So it's actually up a little bit there off the bottom at 504490. That is the other one. Now, obviously, 9-inch is still, I think, holding on to the third spot of the TVL. So it would be Pulsex, around 160 million plus or minus. Then, of course, about 35 million for PHUX, and then 9-inch, I think, is probably still holding on to the number third spot there. And I think, what maybe is it 10 million, something like that? Maybe something like that. That is the play. What else we got going there? The meme coins. Let's have a look at the meme coins there. Where'd the ETH go? Is pretty much at down 8.5%. And this has been the dramatic pullback. Look at this pullback on this one. This has been pretty major there. Look at that. Wow. So we had the big run up. We got all the way up to $3.14. And yeah, what did I talk about? Getting up to $2.20. That was kind of $2.20. I did say that we could get to $3 to $5, where we got the $3 to $5 as well. But that was kind of on the upside. $2.20 was kind of the probable call. But the potentiality for going higher was definitely in there. And man, it did it. But then, of course, sell the news event and down we go. And, of course, some negative impacts around the UI and things like that. Liquidity pool APRs. It seems like they've fixed those up now. But there we are at 77 cents now on where the ETH go. What else we got there? Poor pleb. Remember, these were also late. They were about 3 days late on these pools as well. And here we are at 3,700. So that's all been wiped back down now. That whole rally got wiped back down. Now the pools are out there. And Pulse Dodge as well. So, yeah, sell the news event and, of course, delay in the pools and a bit of negative coverage about stuff. But, you know, maybe there's a lot of buying now and there's upside. You just got to get that bottom right? Maybe it's not quite here yet, but definitely put it on your watch list if you're looking for some bargains. All right, and don't forget they got yield farms too. So that's kind of the play there. Let's go to the final category, Pulsechain projects. That was one of them, of course, 9-inch. But let's have a look by percentages this time rather than the liquidity pool. And we can see that Water token from TRH is up 18%. Texan token is up 16% there. Spark Swap is up 7%. Now, Spark Swap we covered yesterday. They now have an Atribum bridge. Atribum. Am I saying? I'm boxing it up. Atribum. Anyway, let's move on. You know the one I'm talking about. Anyway, let's move on. It's not even something you can shorten that very well. Anyway, so they added that onto their bridge, so you can do that now on Spark Swap, which is kind of cool. The more I was saying it, the worse it was getting at it, I think. But anyway, we got Kira there is up 6% as well. Ophir. So Ophir and Texan token are both the first endowment tokens on the blockchain. And of course, they're from, the front people for those are Rag to Riches and Crypto Heartbeat, two rather large influencers in the Pulsechain X space there. And those two are up to date, which is kind of good news. I know they've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline for that with that ecosystem. So it's a pretty exciting place to be. Burn Token is also related to water there. So they're part of the TRH protocol. And they're both up to date as well. Now, there's full-on commentary in our Discord. If you've gone to a Discord, get into our Discord, folks. Are amazing there. Archie is really crushing it there on the intel there around TRH, and also probably coming up TYZZ as well. So definitely follow. Archie's got some huge commentaries on our second chat. It's called Pulsechain Projects. You get in there and you can get all the update about water, burn, and TRH and lots of stuff from our in-house expert there. And so, yeah, definitely join up to our Discord. We've got two different memberships at the moment. We've got the general membership, which is 16 cents a day. And of course, we've got our strategy team, strategy club, which is only stealth launch at the moment. And we're building that up as we speak. And that is $35 a month. So you can join up for that if you want to get all the inside intel and strategies and everything else for some of the best projects in crypto on the planet that we're covering. So get into that too. All right. What else? That's pretty much it on the highlights. A lot of small percentage gains on many of these others. That's kind of the leaders there at the moment. All right, let's move on to something else I want to talk about, which is a 9mm, because we're going to do the roadmap, right? Let's do the roadmap. Before we do that, let's get back in the chat there and catch up on, we're going to get the future roadmap now. So we're going to talk about Pulsechain Unleashed, and we'll get into that. Who else has jumped in here? Check my pulse says, oh, thanks for the T-share alpha. We'll do, and we'll kind of cover that in a second. That is our last topic. So the first topic that we're going to do is future projects and on Pulsechain Unleashed. And of course, then we're going to talk about Hex and the Hex T-share, which is very important as well. Passive income in the house there. Hi, everybody. What's up? Good to see you, passive income. Let me say here, Acadesmio said is here as well. Hi, afternoon all. Good to see you. Evening, actually. Is that a good movie? Evening, actually. Tombo says Titan X is doing great. It is going great. Now, if you want to get into our Discord and into our strategy club, we're going to be talking about Titan X and a full strategy. You don't want to miss that strategy. We're going to it's a pretty damn good strategy we've come up with there. So if you want to get this, is one of the projects we'll be covering. It's not on Pulsechain, of course, on Ethereum, but we'll be covering non-Pulsechain projects as well, including TYCZ coming up as well. You don't want to miss that, DeFi Binance. And so if you want to join our strategy club, it is only a stealth launch at the moment, and the link is in the video description for that. And we're going to have some of our best crypto experts talking about that. So going to be pretty good. PLX is my baby mama, says Elias. Yeah, PLX is going to do very well in my view. It's going to be very good indeed. Let's have a look how that. Christian says, tell me about it. I paid a niche chunk on Ethereum on doing mining on Titan X. Nice one there, Christian. We've got Elias as well. Hey, crypto family. Good to see you, Elias. Welcome to the chat. I know all these names, by the way, that I've seen so far, so kind of cool. PSI says Joe Perry's posted about Pulsechain today. I think that's his name. Hey, you know what? Joe Perry has been doing a lot on Pulsechain lately. I've seen on Next Social Platform. He's been asking questions and stuff like that. So it does seem to be lifting his interest for sure. Valiant's in the house there. Hope 9-inch tokens have hit bottom, says Valiant. Yeah, they may have hit bottom. There's a little bit more down, Valiant. Maybe a little bit more down. We will see. But, you could probably start dollar cost averaging. Not financial advice, but that may be a play there. They need to get the communication up. They kind of indicated they would get the communication up. That's one thing they need to do. And they obviously need to keep their timelines as well. But there's more to come from that project, right? More tokens and projects are going on onto those there as well. We'll see how we get on. Randy Alaski, of course, going on there too with his Nope token. Ashley as well. Woohoo! About to rip. Here's Ashley. Nice. And a big shout out to Wookie, one of our moderators, a member for 11 months. A big shout out to Wookie. Thank you so much for your support. Do appreciate it big time. And one of our favorite community members for sure is the old Wookie there. And he happens to be a Kiwi. So, that's another bonus, right? All right. Moving on. Brendan says, what's it? Rad Trump. Rad Trump. Blah, 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 blah. That's fun. It's comedy hour on Hex Token channel. All right, let's move on. I even botched up that. That's hilarious. All right, let's move on. Let's get into some serious stuff here. All right, so we've got the projects coming up. Pulsechain Unleashed, and of course, these aren't all the projects. We've got over 180 projects launching on Pulsechain. Most of them haven't yet, and these are some of the biggest ones in the second wave. What I call the second wave coming up. Fetch Oracle, any day now, I guess that could come out. And we know from the 6th of the month that this was going to be tidied up pretty much last week. So we must be getting pretty close for this week on this. And so Fetch Oracle there, I've got it today, but we're going to move that one day over and to the 16th. And of course, we're going to move all these over one day too to the next day with these launches. So that's kind of the play on these. We're also going to move Barista one day as well. So what we've got coming up at the moment is, did I move that one day? I'm sure I moved Fetch Oracle one day. What happened there? All right, so we're going to move Fetch Oracle. We're also going to move Sugarbeet as well. So Sugarbeet is soon, very soon, imminent type of soon, but we just don't know the exact day. We just know it's very soon. So we just got that coming up. That's from Beetroot. We got Fetch Oracle, of course, the first decentralized Oracle, and going to be a major utility piece for Pulsechain. That's expected to launch imminently as well, but that's going to be ramped up as well. It's going to be quite centralized, moving to decentralized as we understand it. And then Liquid Loans and Power City, which are ginormous for Pulsechain, right? So Liquid Loans is going to collateralize Pulse. Power City is going to collateralize PulseX, and they're going to give us two brand new stable coins, USDL for Liquid Loans and PXDC for Power City. It's going to be major, and of course they'll all be hooked up into our existing stable coin with CST, which goes to fiat on ramp, off ramp. So you're going to see this perfect loop around. It's going to be pretty amazing, and so excited about that. Barista, of course, is going to be a front end for Liquid Loans, so it's going to be bullish too, and they're also going to offer the Bean token, so you get extra rewards there. And they also got auto compounding or auto balancing, it is on Barista as well. So that's kind of cool. Beetroot, of course, is going to offer. So these are the big behemoths. These four here are going to be a really huge deal for Pulsechain. And then we've got Sugarbeet, which is going to do single-side staking pretty much for the Richard Hart coins, and the Beat token as well for the Beat. And of course, Beetroot is the founder of Sugarbeet, and it's one of their products. And it's going to be Sugarbeet is our big privacy hub on Pulsechain, offering a number of utilities from privacy through to swapping and cross-chain and stuff like that. So it is a pretty big, important protocol, and probably very underpriced at the moment. So that is Sugarbeet. That's going to be bullish for Richard Hart tokens. Then we've got some hard dates. So hard dates, in other words, are fixed in. We've got Tetra, one of the front-running innovative projects on Pulsechain, and that's pretty much making democratizing or making coding and interacting with the blockchain smart contracts really easy for people to do using visualizations. And if you're familiar with anything like 3D software like Blender, it's going to have like nodes and connectors where you can just sort of take features and connect them all up, and you could do all sorts of fancy things like flash loans or buy and sells, limit orders and things like that, and you can just automate it yourself. Now Tetra Dex Aggregator there is going to be there, and Atlas Dashboard, so that's kind of bullish on there. Those are two coming out, Dex Aggregator and Atlas Dashboard, so it's kind of great. So obviously we've got Dex aggregators like Pateas and things like that, Go Portal X and stuff, but this also looks like they're going to be doing that too, and also Atlas Dashboard as well. So some of their products are finally launching. They're also going to have more Tetra staking pools coming out as well on the 24th. So the 17th for these two features or products as we might call them on the 17th, and then on the 24th we've got Tetra staking pool coming up as well. So looking pretty good there. Moving in ahead, of course, we've got TRH V4 potentially at the end of November, the beginning of December is kind of when we got that penciled in for at the moment. It's not a hard date. The only hard dates on here at the moment, Tetra and the Tetra ones, with some soft dates here for the Liquid Loans, Power City, Fetch Oracle, and Sugarbeet, and Barista. Those kind of sort of soft dates. We know they're supposed to be ballpark in November. That's sort of where they are at this stage. TRH V4. That is kind of penciled in for that. And then we've got, of course, the same team. TRH is Jacob's projects. He's got TRH Pulsepot, and of course he's also got TYZZ in the new year, but on Binance Smart Chain, not on Pulsechain. So we've got TRH V4. That's supposed to be a major upgrade. It's going to help all those tokens that we talked about with water and burn, all that sort of stuff. And then of course Pulsepot as well, potentially coming out mid-December. That's a penciled in date as well. So not a hard or soft date, but that is kind of penciled in there. No token from Randy Alasky, of course, coming in mid-December too. And that's going to launch on the 9-inch DEX, right? And you have to be part of his Patreon supporters to get access to that token at the moment. So that is the play. Then we got 9mm Pro. Now, this is new. You haven't seen this on here from yesterday, but this is in a 9mm Pro. Is expected to launch here in December to the end of year. So the second half of the month of December is expected to launch 9mm Pro. And, of course, that's going to be pretty important. So let's talk about 9mm Pro now. Even though it's further down the line there, we're going to get into that. And Abit's posted a little update here. So participating in the 9mm ecosystem is going to be so much fun. This is Abit, one of the influencers in the Pulsechain Hex community. Right now, it's very much like PulseX, but you get rewarded for participating in the system. Buying, selling, and providing liquidity in different protocols earns you leaderboard points, which will get you a proportion of the monthly 9mm airdrop. So that's pretty big deal there. So this is that's the goal there. That's what you're trying to get, right? The monthly 9mm airdrop. In the next couple of weeks, concentrated liquidity comes out, and then it's game over. So I think this project's a little different from a lot of others. So it's kind of you get involved in the project financially in some way, and you get part of the airdrop. It's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. Very sticky, very engagey type of project. In the next couple of weeks, concentrated liquidity comes out. So talking about V3 liquidity. Obviously, they launched a V2 DEX, if you guys know, and it's very organic, sort of building up slowly. And then it's game over. So that is the kind of play at the moment. Let's actually pull up 9mm. And I think I've got that here. Let's see what the liquidity is at the moment. So 416,000, you can see it there. And that's not bad with 66K of volume. So the volume is picking up. And this is kind of happening organically at the moment. So this is V2 technology, of course, and 416. So that's heading in the right direction. They don't have any farms or anything. But if you do provide liquidity, you do buy and sell on here, then you're going to get some airdrop. Is that basically what they're saying? So that is it here at the moment. Buying, selling, providing liquidity in different pools, NG leaderboard points. So it's a very different approach to rewarding people. And here is a little diagram, which is kind of cool, that he put up. And you can see this in quite good detail. Is it holding up there? Let's go to full screen on this. Bam. And you can see that. I'll just get rid of my banner there for a moment. That you can see me. Hi everybody. Welcome to the. Can you see my waving? There we go. All right. All right. So there we are. That is. Does it show up any good? Yeah, I think it does. All right. So we got start here. You start here. Look at that. There's the user. Look, the user. And we got Pulse OG. So that's their NFTs that they sold out, right? 30% of the supply is going to the minters. But if you buy it off the market in the secondary market, or you're holding, 20% of the supply goes to the holder there, I guess. So that's kind of the play there. And you get a monthly airdrop. I think you do. Monthly airdrop there. And for those, 5% of the supply is going to LP from the looks of it. And of course, if you are buying, selling, or LP providing there, then on the DEX or the NFT marketplace coming out, or they got GMX here. I don't know if that's supposed to be a balance of fork or something, or perpetual, maybe like a famous thing. I'm not sure what the GMX is there. We know that they were going to have a DEX NFT marketplace and a block explorer, so I'm not sure exactly what the GMX's one is there. That is the play there, and then they've got a leaderboard. So if you get on the leaderboard based on volume, so the more economic activity you do, the more of the rewards you get. 45% of total supply is going to the leaderboard there. So they've gamified and stickified the DEXs and stuff. But they've also got an NFT marketplace coming out, marketplace number 7, as you guys know. We've got 5 that have launched so far already. We're still waiting for Pixel Park from Power City, and we're waiting for the NFT market here from 9mm. So it's kind of play there. Now, obviously, through all the DEXs, marketplace, and GMX, they generate all these trading fees. And those trading fees, 50% go to stakers, and you earn Pulse. You earn Pulse there. So feel the Pulse. 50% goes to buy and burn. I guess it goes to buy and burn the 9mm token. So it makes it more deflationary there. So that is the setup there from Abit, which I thought was a kind of cool little diagram there. And hopefully I've interpreted it mostly correct there on that one. So that is the retweet there. I'll retweet that. It's got 8,800 views. Not a bad looking approach there to the diagram. So to the project of that diagram. So 9mm. I'll post a link to that if you want to check out that in more detail for yourself. But that is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. All right, bam. There we go. All right, who else have we got coming in here? We've got a few other comments. John H is Bar Trump. Yeah, that's probably the best pronunciation there, John H. I like that. Bar Trump. Cancel the show, says Brennan. Yeah. Because I couldn't interpret Brennan's one very well. It was all going down the giggler from there. Normally I say it fine. It's just today. For some reason, I just started tripping over the word. It's just weird like that. We got Harry Williams in the house there. Yo. Good to see you. I came late. You're better late than never, as we say. Better late than never. All right. That is some of the highlights there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is the roadmap we're expecting. And, of course, more projects than this are actually launching. And we'll try and keep you up to date with all those as well. All right. Look, even 9M replied to that. Looks complex, but it's quite simple when you get down to it. And simple is usually effective. Basically, if you buy, sell, or provide liquidity, you're going to get airdrops from the 9M token. So that's kind of the idea. Different kind of launch, different kind of project. And I think it's probably quite useful in crypto. A lot of people love to engage in that way. And their liquidity is definitely starting to grow. It's not, almost 500,000 getting there. Let's compare that to 9 inch, shall we? So let's see what 9 inch is holding number 3 spot on the TVL. Let's see how that is looking at the moment in terms of TVL. Am I on the wrong chain? I think I am. I'm on the wrong chain. Let's go to Pulsechain and let's see what the analytics says. Let me refresh this one more time. All right, so it says that we've got $14 million in TVL at the moment on the old 9 inch, and we got 8.7 million in liquidity and 562,000 in what's the date? $500,000 is it? Yeah, $500,000 in 24-hour volume. So that gives you a good comparison to the other one that we talked about, the 9M. So 65K. This one's doing almost 600,000. So there we are. That's what 10 times more. Liquidity 416,000 on Pulsechain. Liquidity here on 9 inch is 8.6 million. So we'll see how that goes. But so far, definitely the 9mm is building up. It's building up slowly and surely. It's kind of cool. All right. Let's get to Hex.com. If you haven't checked it out, Hex is the best. It's the best CD miner out in planet on crypto. And of course, it's one of it's Richard Hart's original crypto gem. And of course, did a 10,000x in the last bull market. You can get Hex and burn it for T-shares. T-shares are kind of like your miner. And then you can start mining more Hex. That's kind of the way it goes. You can do that on Pulsechain and on Ethereum. So let's jump over to the results for that on day 1443. Ethereum is not out yet. That's always comes out after my live stream now these days. But Pulsechain is out, and that's day 186. So let's have a look. 14th of November, price there at 1.281 cents there, so just under 1.3 cents, down 3.3% there. So we can see that we had a few down days on the old PHEX price. The payout per T-share is 6.633, and at the moment, T-share will cost you $390. The share rate jumped 35 today, and it's now at 30,433. But remember, this is going to jump big time on the 26th. So what day is it today? It's either the 14th or 15th, depending where you are. But on the 22nd, it's expected to jump. And this is the share rate trajectory here, or projection. And you can see here we are at the moment. This red line is the actuals. And you can see us here on the 14th. And we're on the 22nd. We're going to jump all the way from 30,600 all the way up to 32,000. So it's 1,400 X more you will need, which is about another $10 per T-share on Ethereum and about another $20 per T-share on Pulsechain, excluding longer pays better and bigger pays better, of course. So this is kind of spot. Let's call it the spot rate there, the base rate for Hex at the moment. So it's a short-term T-shares, basically. That's the play. So definitely a big deal. Obviously, if you're buying 10 T-shares, then it's like an extra $100 on Ethereum or $200 more on Pulsechain, excluding longer pays better. But, the cheaper the base, the better, right? So it's a big day. You can see that in the chart for yourself. That yellow line is a big jump in the share rate, and it's the biggest one we'll have right until we get to the end of 2024. So for the next year, that will be the biggest jump. But we have got other big jumps expected in the 2024 as well. So look at that thing. It's not holding back. The share rate is not holding back for anybody. And this is a big jump that we're coming up to here of 1,400 Hex per T-share. Now, of course, if the price of Hex rallies into a bull market, then this is going to become super expensive to get T-shares. Super expensive to get them. And, the highest price of T-shares was well over $9,000 per T-share in the last bull market. At the moment, of course, you can get that for $390 at the moment. So remember that. It was pretty expensive in the bull market, 9,000. The share rate's going up higher, so it's going to be even higher. So if we got back to the all-time high of 50 cents like we did in the last bull market, then share rate's way higher than that. I can't remember what it was back then, but we're probably at least 2x higher than that now. It really is a big deal, at least a third higher than we were, and it's only going to be accelerating from here. So just remember that. All right, will it move markets? Will it move the HEX market? We will see. I don't think we haven't seen that in the past on some of the other bigger moves. We've had moves like 600 HEX, that sort of stuff before, but a 1400 HEX, that's the first time since the big payday back in 2020, November 2020. So it really is a big move on the share price. And of course, we're moving into different contexts. So we may very well see a bit of a run up possibly on the old HEX chart there. So keep an eye out for that as we head into the 22nd. See whether you get any particular move there for people trying to get T-shares, maybe larger accounts trying to get T-shares stuck in there. So definitely keep a watch on that. All right, average mine length 6.88 years is the old mine length there on the Pulsechain. 37.62% is the APY, I should say, for existing T-share miners. How many T-shares are there? Well, the T-shares have gone up by 4,300 today. We've got 9,830,000 T-shares in the ownership pool, mining HEX at the moment. And of course, they're mining those sweet rewards or payouts in the reward pool. And so the smaller that pool gets, the more rewards they're going to get, right? Because that reward pool is getting bigger. So, you become a special class of T-share miners in the old HEX there. 9.7% of HEX is locked away at the moment on Pulsechain. We had pretty modest penalties today, 400,000. So basically people were keeping to their mining responsibilities. But we have had some pretty nice payouts over the last 10 days. We've got 65 million HEX in that reward pool that I was talking to you about. At the moment, it goes to T-share holders. And let's look at the growth numbers. We're up 35 liquid holders of HEX. We're up 8 miners of HEX at the moment on Pulsechain. We've got 124,479 miners on the old Pulsechain at the moment. So that is day 186 for Pulsechain. And we don't have the day out for Ethereum, but it probably comes out just after this live stream finishes. It seems to be delayed these days. It used to come out at the right time, but seems to be holding up there. Anyway, we're starting day 1444 on the old Ethereum chain and day 187 on Pulsechain. We're coming up to the HEX 4th birthday, and it's going to lead us into the 5th year of HEX. So HEX is really growing up. It's getting some. It's going to go off to little primary school. That's what we call it, primary school. Where kids turn 5 and they go to little primary school. So HEX might be in little kindergarten at the moment, but it's going to primary school. Watching HEX is like watching a baby grow up. It's like watching a baby grow up into a young kid, and then maybe young teens. That could be a wrestle. It could be quite. I bet you it's going to be the charts could be quite rebellious in when the HEX gets up to teenagehood years. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's going to be fun to watch. Anyway, enough with that analogy. We'll move on. Rug, pull the analogy. All right, but there we go. That is the results there, and that share rate's coming up pretty thick and fast. Only a couple of days away, so less than a week away for that to happen, isn't it? Pretty much a week, 8 days, maybe a week to go. All right, thank you to Abit for a sponsor of this video. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's move on. That is Pulsechain, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We did it in less than an hour today. Wow! But of course, as the projects come up, we'll be talking about those on this channel. And if you want to get the sweet insider stuff, the secret strategies, the things that we don't talk about here on live shows, get into our Discord under the Strategy Club. That is a stealth launch at the moment, so get involved, and we're going to have some cool commentaries and get in for some scheduled calendar events as well as casual drop-ins as well. It's going to be a lot of fun in the old Strategy Club on Hex Token Discord. Other than that, you can join the general Discord member, and that's 16 cents a day, which is a pretty good value. Get all the information on projects, useful links, and of course the community. Access to all the community members is very cool. All right, let's add back in the banners, and let's get into some final comments here. I think that's it. We've got no more comments, so good place to finish. We've got 43 people watching at the moment, so big welcome to everybody. If you're new to the channels, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you want to join as members on Superman Crypto or Pulsechain, hit the join buttons. We've got several memberships for YouTube. But of course, if you want to get into Discord, the link's in the video description. We've got 2 different memberships. One is general membership, and the other one is the Strategy Club, which is still on stealth launch. And you can join early on that one, get all the alpha on projects. Especially if you're new, maybe it's a good place to be, because you're going to get some of the strategies that play out to get you the best chance of winning. That's the best chance of winning. So get in there on that one. All right, I'll see you guys in Discord. And I hope you guys have a great day, DCA, all that stuff. And I'll catch you guys again tomorrow to cover Pulsechain day 187 results, which will be pretty fun. All right, let's play some music on the way out. Let's see what we got. We're going to play good old Richard's rap. I haven't played that for a few days. So let's do that. Peace out, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.